Welcome to JGTCR, I'm Cope, and today we are tuning the AMG VGT. Let's get into it. In factory trim, this VGT is heavy and cumbersome. This vehicle's movements are slow and lazy to respond to our inputs. While making our way through turns, we frequently experience understeer. This can occur while braking, coasting, and accelerating. And in all of those conditions, the degree of understeer is rather awful. As such, it is best to use caution and pace ourselves accordingly. Plan braking for corners well in advance and move braking markers as needed. When exiting turns, do not accelerate too early and modulate throttle input. When oversteer does happen, it is not aggressive, but happens often enough when pushing. The weight distribution of the vehicle leaves the nose quite light. This means the front can lift easily and leave us without steering on occasion. Let's move ahead and collect our lap time. (6 minutes 57.5 seconds). Let's take a look at a tune sheet. The AMG VGT did not respond well to conventional tuning. Adding to this, our body height adjustment and aerodynamics are locked. As such, we have taken a more mild and neutral approach to this tune. The front and rear suspension were both made more firm, with the rear suspension made slightly more firm to help avoid the front lifting. This did do the trick for the most part, but if the front end does continue to feel light, a touch of ballast up front should remedy the situation. Let's get back on track. With our tune in place and some soft tyres, the AMG VGT does feel a lot better. The vehicle is far more stable in most conditions. We have a greater sensation of control and turn-in is more crisp. Our grip coasting through corners is far greater and we experience much less oversteer. However, the nose does still continue to feel light. While nowhere near as prevalent as before, it is still present. This is particularly noticeable at high speed and at crests or dips in the road. That front end ballast will definitely be added next time we use this vehicle. On to the finish line to collect our time. 6 minutes 33 seconds flat. And yes, now the drift tune. We have gone to some extreme measures to try and make this VGT drift. As previously mentioned, conventional tuning methods do not seem to produce meaningful results. So let's see how effective this tune is. One would think that with well over 500 horsepower, almost any vehicle would not have a hard time spinning the rear wheels. But the AMG VGT definitely struggles to keep the drift going. While it is possible to link the entire circuit, it is far more difficult than it needs to be. When drifting, there is a consistent ongoing battle to keep from spinning out or gripping up, and it is not pleasant. If we can settle the vehicle into the drift, we can maintain a decent angle. The real issues come to light when we try and make adjustments to our drift, be it adding or subtracting speed, drift angle, RPM, or even adjusting track position. Almost anything we do can result in the vehicle becoming unsettled and upset our ability to drift. At the end of the day, the AMG VGT can drift, but it does not like to. And unless we're after a challenging and difficult drift, we are probably best to leave this one alone. The AMG VGT is a large and heavy vehicle. It has a considerable amount of power, but is unrefined. It feels dull and difficult to maneuver in factory trim. When modified, there are definitely improvements to how the vehicle handles and responds to inputs, but unfortunately it is not enough to make it drive well. Some very important suspension settings are locked, limiting the support network for the base vehicle. This prevents us from being able to maximize its potential and iron out some of its quirks. As such, it remains a rather awkward vehicle that is not much fun to drive. And that's all we have for you today, so until next time, keep racing.